This is Digital Tools for Architects, Photoshop 1.4. This is making an image pop. This is a special kind of an adjustment where we're going to try to boost the color values in this particular image. I'm using the same image that I used for Photoshop 1.1 and also Photoshop 1.3. And I think this is a pretty good example of how I can boost the colors in this particular image. So what I'm going to do is, just like I've done in the previous tutorials, is I'm going to come up to the layer here and I'm going to do a new adjustment layer, and this time I'm going to go back to the channel mixer. And so you remember from Photoshop 1.1 that this was how I turned the image to black and white. This time I'm going to use the same channel mixer, but this is going to be a pop adjustment, so we'll say pop, and I'll go ahead and say OK. And so this brings up the channel mixer. So when I convert it to black and white, I check the box for monochrome, which I don't want to do. I instead want to leave this as a color value. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check these colors and make sure that I'm in the red color scheme. And I'm going to adjust the red value here to be 116. And I'm going to adjust this to be -8. Excuse me. And I'm going to adjust the blue value here to be -8. And so the important thing is that these as a total will add up to being 100%. Okay? And so then I'll switch to the green channel here, in which case I'll up the green channel to be 116. And this will be -8. And this will be -8 as well. Okay, perfect. And now I'm going to go to the blue channel and adjust the blue channel here to be 116. And we're going to say -8. Oops. And -8. And you'll see that my image is now back to looking similar to what it was originally. And so what I can do is I can go ahead and close down this adjustment layer. And if I were to turn it on and turn it off, you can see that it's brought out just a little bit of color. It's a very subtle difference, but it can really make a big difference in your overall image, especially when you attach this together with some of the other tutorials, Photoshop 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. If I wanted to go back in and adjust this for some reason, I would double click on my layer thumbnail, which brings me back to the channel mixer. These values are values that I've found to work pretty well for most images. You can of course change the value, so this could be 120 for example, and this could be -10 and -10. The key is that you want the total to be equal to 100. And you saw while I was changing that if the total was not equal to 100, the image really didn't look quite right. And so this is just another strategy for popping out the colors in that particular image. So this is Photoshop 1.4, adding some pop to an image.